I'm Jonathan.
I'm Mary Ann.
And I'm Jocelyn.
And we are the
Crew Jomaju!
Our video for today is all about
One hour later.
Sorry.
6.5 hours later.
Our video for today is all about major rehabilitation of parole and probation.
Tomorrow.
Our video for today is all about major rehabilitation program of parole and probation administration.
First, restorative justice. Restorative justice is a philosophy and a process whereby stakeholders in a specific offense resolve collectively how to deal with the aftermath of the offense and its implications for the future. It is a victim-centered response to crime that provides opportunity for those directly affected by the crime, the victim, the offender, their families, and the community, to be directly involved in responding to the harm caused by the crime.
Few inches later.
The ultimate objective of the restorative justice is to restore the broken relationships among stakeholders. It is also the process provides a healing opportunity for affected parties to facilitate the recovery of the concerned parties and allow them to move on with their lives.
Restorative justice. The goal of RJ is to repair the harm. The criminal justice professional applying the philosophy needs to understand the impact of crime on the victims and the latter's family in future. By helping the victim, the system can 1. Exert efforts to appropriately respond to the victim's harm. 2. Accordingly hold offenders accountable. 3. Reduce the victimization of the victim again. 4. Improve active involvement and cooperation of the victim. And lastly, protect and empower victims. Benefits of restorative justice. It views criminal acts more comprehensively rather than defining crime as lawbreaking. It recognizes that offenders harms victims, communities, and even themselves. It involves more parties rather than giving roles only to government and the offender. It includes victims and communities as well. It measures success differently rather than measuring how much punishment has been inflicted. It measures how much harm has been repaired or prevented. It recognizes the importance of community involvement and initiative in responding to and reducing crime rather than leaving the problem of crime to the government alone. Of restorative justice. Justice requires that we work to restore those who have been injured. Those most directly involved and affected by crime should have the opportunity to participate fully in the response if they wish. Government's role is to preserve a just public order, and the community's role is to build and maintain a just peace. Of restorative justice as a rehabilitation program of PPA. The integration of the offenders to the social mainstream and encouraging them to assume active responsibility for the injuries inflicted to the victims. Proactive involvement of the community to support and assist in the rehabilitation of victims and offender. Attention to the needs of the victims, survivors, and other persons affected by the crime as participating stakeholders in the criminal justice system, rather mere objects or passive recipients of services or of intervention that may be unwanted, inappropriate, or ineffective. Healing the effects of the crimes or wrongdoing suffered by the respective stakeholders, and prevention of further commission of crime and delinquency.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
The Volunteer Probation Assistant or the VPA program. It is a strategy by which the parole probation and administration may be able to generate maximum citizen participation or community involvement. Citizens of good standing in the community may volunteer to assist the probation and parole officers in the supervision of a number of probationers, parolees, and conditional pardonees in their respective communities. Since they reside in the same community as the client, they are able to usher in the reformation and rehabilitation of the client's hands-on.
For the BPA program of the PPA. First, Presidential Decree Number 968 permits the employment of volunteer probation aides, specifically under Section 20. Second, on October 11, 2005, President Gloria M. Arroyo signed Executive Order Number 468 revitalizing the VPA program of the PPA to strengthen community involvement and participation in crime prevention, treatment of offenders, and the administration of criminal justice. Of volunteer probation aides. First, as direct supervisor. Supervise a maximum of 5 clients at any given time. Work closely with officer on case and CPPO or OIC and discuss treatment plan and status of clients. Submit monthly accomplishment report to officer on case or CPPO or OIC and other reports required. Perform such other tasks as may be assigned by the officer on case. Second, as resource individual. Resource speaker on volunteerism, restorative justice, therapeutic community, and other topics. Counselor to other clients or people who need help. Donor, sponsor, or referring person. Program coordinator of clients' activities. Mediator, restorative justice implementer, and therapeutic community facilitator. Vision: an institutionalized VPA system with competent members working in effective partnership with the DOJ PPA in pursuing the rehabilitation of its clients towards a better quality of life in the community. Mission: to promote the rehabilitation and development of DOJ PPA clients through a competent corp of volunteer service network using the holistic approach in volunteer and community resource development.
Eventually.
And lastly, therapeutic community. Therapeutic community is a self-help social learning treatment model used in rehabilitation of drug offenders and other clients with behavioral problems. Therapeutic community adheres to precepts of right living, responsible love and concern, truth and honesty, and here and now, personal responsibility for destiny, social responsibility, moral code, work ethics, and pride in quality.
Therapeutic community also is an environment that helps people get help while helping themselves. Each member has a defined role and responsibilities for sustaining the proper functioning of the therapeutic community. There are sets of rules and community norms that members commit to live by and uphold upon entry. The primary therapist and teacher is the community itself, consisting of peers, probation and parole officers, and even volunteer probation aides, who, as role of models of successful personal change, serve as guides in the recovery process.
Mission of therapeutic community. By the end of this decade, therapeutic community shall have become the corporate culture of Department of Justice, Parole and Probation Administration, permitting its plans, programs and practices, and confirming its status as a model component of the Philippine correctional system. Its mission: to promote human and social transformation among ourselves and among our clients. The therapeutic community beliefs. First, belief in the higher power. Individual must take responsibility. Inherent goodness of man. Man can change and unfold, and group can foster change. Brilliant features of TCLP:
Therapeutic Community Ladderized Program. The TCLP integrates therapeutic community tools, norms, and methods with probation and parole requirements implemented in progressive phases within non-residential community-based setting on Department of Justice, Parole and Probation Administration rehabilitation programs for clients. It provides clients with success milestone through graduated completion criteria and aims for more active involvement of clients and their families. The TCLP has redefined program components. Several elements has been aligned, including organizational core values with TC norms, TC hierarchical structure with field office organizational structure, and clients' assessments and planning processes with probation and parole conditions and procedures. Altogether, the TCLP seeks to give clients sustainable foundations for life after probation and parole, empower implementers, and raise the application for TC modality to higher professional standards. For the treatment categories of therapeutic community modality, first, relational or behavioral management. Second, affective or emotional psychological. Third, cognitive intellectual. Fourth, spiritual. And last, psychomotor or vocational survival skills. For the cardinal rules of therapeutic community modality: no drugs, no alcohol, no sex or sexual acting out, no violence or threat of violence, no stealing, and no criminal activity.